you're running double marksman, and that's why I thought that the Zilean ban was so smart. Zilean Kindred is a great combo, and Zilean just kind of having these more supportive style mid laners often work very, very well alongside double marksman. They're going to bring all the damage that you do need. Bjergsen obviously going to be playing more that assassin style. LeBlanc can zero out a lot of these champions. Really, it's only going to be Kumo who's going to be kind of tanky enough that you don't have to be as afraid of the LeBlanc. Broken Blade on the Shen does mean that Spica can also get a lot more aggressive. Bjergsen can get a lot more aggressive. If you can get priority around that mid lane, have an advantageous mid 2v2 for TSM, then you can start invading into your opponent's jungle and rely on the fact that you have the Stand United from the Shen to really kind of swing things in your favor. So it's going to be a lot about that. And on the other side for EG, it does feel like it's more down to the team fighting. Karma, I think with his double marksman draft that they have, is going to be going kind of the supportive build, go for Theans, go for Ardent Censer, and these style of kind of items.
And whenever I see a game that has a champion with a global or a semi-global, like a Twisted Fate or a Shen or something along those lines, I always look at the other team and see how well they can bring the fight to that champion. Because those globals are only useful if they're able to join somewhere else. If the fight comes to them, that effectiveness is completely removed. So I want to see how well Evil Geniuses is able to deal with Broken Blade in that top lane on the Shen, specifically because they have Kumo on Volibear. I know I made the haha Lamau XD bear with a shotgun in his mouth comment last game, but the damage on the champion is absurd. And if they can get Graves up there too, there's big potential for kills.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Graves is the shotgun. He might not have a Graves shotgun in his mouth, but he has a shotgun in his pocket because the Graves could be waiting right behind him to actually try to dive the tower. You can turn that off, obviously, with the Volibear. I do think that the 1v1 between the Volibear and the Shen should be beneficial towards that Volibear, should be in his favor. But Shen does match up quite well against a lot of melee champions, and if you can actually use that parry zone with your W effectively, you can block things like the Q stun from Volibear and the W. You can block a lot of abilities that do come out and then start to turn things really in your favor. When you're getting those Q pull-throughs with your sword, you get the bonus attack speed, you get bonus HP damage. It really can do a lot better, I think, in some of these matchups than people would expect.
And going back to sort of the win conditions and what you were talking about last game with what you want to see from more teams that aren't named Cloud9, specifically talking about controlling the bottom half of Summoner's Rift early and paying respect to early Drake takes, having a Shen is great for that because it's an extra teleport. It's an extra ability to get involved with that +1 total team members available for the fight. And I specifically am looking for TSM to do this. I'm specifically looking for them to make sure that they're getting maximum value out of that extra manpower.
Yep. I mean, I always want to see people be proactive with the Stand United. I think it's so much more effective when you have a preset play that you're going for, when you're using it aggressively to really kind of, snowball games. When you're only using the Stand United defensively, oftentimes the Shen is not in the ideal situation to do it, right? If someone's just getting ganked and you have to pop it and you're under your turret and you're losing waves and you're losing turret plates, even if you save that person, if you're not getting kills off that, if you're not getting something back, a lot of times you're actually falling very far behind as the Shen, and it can be kind of wasted. When you are getting really aggressive with the plays, when you're roaming down Bjergsen from mid lane to bot, and Spica is there too, and you have this 4-man play set up, and then Stand United comes in, and it's all of a sudden a 5-man dive. That is incredible. And we're actually seeing Zeyzal do this W start. We've seen this a couple times now. We saw this yesterday. It was pointed out to me that actually Core JJ did this as well, I believe in the first week. So you can actually do a W start on Bard, and 2 of these health packs is essentially 1 health potion, right about that as far as the amount of regen you do get. So it's actually very, very nice. You can just kind of look at it like starting with an additional health potion. It allows you to be fairly aggressive to try to trade more heavily and then kind of retreat back to this. And he put 2 up top, 1 in mid lane. We have seen it more be people kind of just dropping like 3 around mid lane to help out their mid laner more, but this is really cool, and I like the adaptation. It's something that you can do, especially if you're not feeling like it's going to be an aggressive lane. Obviously, you are giving up any presence in lane because you don't have the Q, but you're going up against Braum and you're playing with an Ezreal, so really, who cares?
Yeah, and taking stock of everything in the arsenal here for both sides. Again, only going to be 2 TPs for either team this time around. Despite the fact that this is the same matchup we saw with Ezreal versus Aphelios, it's going to be heal on both of them this time as opposed to teleport, both opting to go for that in-combat power as opposed to the ability to get back to lane, better control their resets, have later on macro strength. Kumo's Volibear also running the Conqueror. You mentioned last game about how Phase Rush, Conqueror, Press the Attack, all of these have a presence on Volibear. PTA being the most presence in the jungle, but Kumo wants to have that greater strength in elongated fights in this game.
Yeah, and that's probably what it's going to be with the Shen. You know, Shen is more about the kind of those quick trades. That is why he's going Grasp. You can prep the Grasp on a minion, you know, hit your Q, get that pull through, and get the Grasp plus, you know, some bonus damage from your Q autos there. So I do think that both players kind of setting themselves up for success. I think that is pretty cool. And, you know, I think part of the reason that we're seeing heal here, for Bang, you're going up against the LeBlanc, right? And LeBlanc has that opportunity to just 100 to 0 marksman specifically very, very easily. So I think Bang, it's less about the lane and more about the fact that he has to be worried about just getting one shot by Bjergsen later on. And for DoubleLift, when you're going up against a Bard, you're expecting it to be more of an aggressive lane. You know, you're expecting the Bard to take Ignite, and that's something that you have to kind of be wary of.
You can see Broken Blade doing a good job there, starting off the trade onto Kumo with the taunt, but Kumo placing down that shield properly to make sure that he trades back in a pretty even fashion. But Broken Blade, again, just utilizing the power of this Shen 1v1 against that Volibear. Mid lane, you can see Svenskeren walking up here just to make sure if a gank was coming, he would have been there to shadow it. But now as soon as those Scuttle Crabs are spawning, he's able to move over to his. It looks like the Kindred mark spawned on the top side crab. So Spica flipped the coin. It came up tails. Unlucky he doesn't get the first mark here by taking the bottom side crab.
He
might not even be able to take this. Jiizuke contesting. Okay. Good job there by Spica to make sure he secures.
Yeah, very well done. You know, utilizing third hit on the E there to get the execute and make sure that he did actually secure that. It's always so frustrating if you lose that, you know, to a mid laner who's roaming down. We've all been there, but thankfully for Spica, his mental has been protected. Nice little binding though on a DoubleLift, and it's a good trade by EG.
Good stuff there. They take a little bit of damage on the back end because whenever Aphelios has the sniper rifle ready to go, you can always end up taking a little bit more damage than you expected just because of the incredible range if he manages to mark you with it. But honestly, not a big problem here for EG. Not only does Bard mean you can go aggressive in the lane, he means you're also going to have that regeneration through those health tags you were discussing back at level 1. Binding's going to hit DoubleLift there, but nothing to stun him with. Svenskeren will make his way down into the bottom lane. That's a 200 HP DoubleLift. Svenskeren's walking up, but he cannot find the damage onto the TSM AD carry in time. Bang shifting forward, trying to find the chance there for the Mystic Shot, but does not have the angle.
Still, good trade. I mean, you trade both the summoners off of Zeyzal for both the summoners on DoubleLift. And remember, you know, there's no TP. So they're not only going to lose those summoners, he's actually going to lose all of his farm. He's going to lose, I would think, at least one turret play. And they're trying to be even more annoying and keep delaying his base. So Zeyzal, you know, does force him to stop that recall again because he didn't want to risk getting bound up. So it's going to be 2 to 3 waves lost there. By DoubleLift. He lost the turret blade, and a very successful gank is going to lead right into this Dragon Tail.
And that's an early Drake. What we were talking about in game number 1, the clock has barely passed 5 minutes, and Evil Geniuses have found their opportunity through good pressure on the bottom lane to take this uncontested. Nobody from TSM is going to go anywhere near it. There we go. Smite comes down just to make sure and gets Svenskeren out of there faster. Good stuff from EG early on.
Yeah, they're looking good. And to take a little bit of time to talk about this Bard, we've been seeing more Bard. And I have seen a number of questions about Bard, you know, why people are going Guardian, why people are doing these builds. You know, I've heard a lot of people talking about the fact that it's like, oh, well, don't you need Spell Feast or Mana Regen? But one of the reasons that Bard is actually seeing more pro plays is you can go these more defensive builds with Relic Shield, with Guardian, and actually just rely more heavily on picking up Meeps for Mana Regen, as Zeyzal will have to, Portal out of here. But it allows you to be a lot tankier. It's not as high risk, high reward as kind of those full damage style builds. People in the LCS have just been rushing towards a Deadman straight up. You can also do Athenes into Deadmans to kind of play more of that supportive role. But it allows you to have a lot of the playmaking and still be consistent.
Speaking of playmaking, Svenskeren jumping in onto Spica here, who flashes away. Jiizuke trying to move forward here to get some extra damage. Everybody from EG going on a magical journey now to all collapse together here in the river. 4-man squad from EG trying to get themselves away. Svenskeren taken low. Bjergsen doesn't have the damage to finish him off. The rest of TSM cannot close the distance to get in there in time. But this at least gives Spica the opportunity to clear this Scuttle Crab mark, get himself one of those Kindred stacks, and chase Evil Geniuses out.
Yeah, that feels really nice. Bjergsen definitely wishing he had Ignite in that situation. Would have been able to kill off Svenskeren, but obviously playing with a TP. Still, nice roam from him. Was able to turn things around, and pretty good use of that parry zone there from Broken Blade to be able to trade back. But, he's not going to be able to win out in these long extended trades. So he is going to be stuck under his turret, a fair bit. And Kumo actually going for that Vamp Scepter right off the bat. I wonder if he's going to go straight into something like a Blade of the Rune King, which is like really heavily focused on that 1v1.
Super aggressive,
Usually you don't see that. Usually you see things more like Death Dance, Triforce, more kind of the bruisery builds. But I have seen some people focus more on straight up attack speed and going for that 1v1 with things like Blade of the Rune King and Wit's End, which is incredible against tanks if you can have the extended fights. But that being said, you're so squishy when you come to teamfight time, and I still feel like Shen can deal with that, just by going like Sunfire Titanic and just insta-killing waves and just not interacting with you.
Right. Play PvE, ignore the enemy champion. It doesn't really matter. Volibear, yes, he has some extra AoE clear potential when he stacks up the passive and the lightning's able to chain to nearby targets, but it's not enough that he's ever going to be able to out-pressure, like you say, Sunfire Titanic Shen. That's just insta-give the wave. There's no real opportunity to do anything, and you're not going to 100 to 0 Sunfire Titanic Shen. So top side, it's Spica showing up, potentially to make a move on to Kumo. We'll see if Broken Blade can land the taunt. That's how they would have to start this one off. Bjergsen roaming up. It looks like TSM are deciding not to go for this after all, instead going for the Rift Herald.
Ooh, the Sweeper is actually not catching that ward, though, which is a fairly big deal. They don't know that they have been spotted. They will be able to figure that out now, though, as they're actually looking for Jiizuke.
Jiizuke rooted up. Damage coming through. Lot of damage down onto the mid laner from EG. Good plays from TSM. First blood over to their side. Svenskeren trying to run away. Maybe get a return kill. Maybe going to be killed now himself. Biofrost moving up. Lands the bag of cash onto Kumo. Trying to get some more of that money here for him and the rest of his team. Taunt goes through. Stun lands down. Kumo goes out. And Bjergsen grabs the second kill of the game here for Team Solomid.
Really nicely done there by TSM. They get pushed on the top side, they roam Bjergsen up, and then they move to the Rift Herald, and when EG comes, they just go super aggressive. They knew Jiizuke did not have his flash, so you use that Stand United offensively. As I was talking about, Broken Blade ulted in very early. It was double chain set up there from Bjergsen, and we'll get to watch it one more time. Nice replay here, actually, from the observers, as it was double chain straight into that taunt. Spica stacking on top, and Spica, knowing the damage limits here very, very well, not actually dropping the ultimate at any point here, and then the long chase down, Biofrost tagging Kumo, slowing him down multiple times, using the exhaust there too, and Broken Blade just barely able to get in range for that taunt, and another kill went the way of TSM.
Whenever you see a Kindred ulti in a team fight, it always creates just an absolute madness around it as everybody tries to pile in. So I respect Spica for not going for that, not giving the opportunity over to EG to pile into that and try to turn it into a party.
I've got to interrupt you here for a second, because I wasn't even going to mention this build because I didn't think there was any way we'd see it in pro, but it's actually going to be Gunblade Volibear. And this is something that I have seen a decent bit. People actually can go more heavily into E, and it's kind of like this bursty build. I have seen it more with this kind of like electrocute cheese style where people go heavy AP, and it's actually really surprising how much upfront damage it can do. This is still Conqueror, so maybe it's going to be like a hybrid thing, like as we'll have to pause that.
Oh no, Jiizuke, there's no way out of this one. Roots go through, damage follows up. Spica's the one taking the kill. 2 kills early on a jungler like Kindred is very scary, and TSM have got to be happy about the way this early game's playing out.
Yeah, I mean, he has the early warrior. They're going to actually turn this into a dragon. Svenskeren could try to steal it, but I think it might be a little bit ill-advised. Bjergsen is roaming down. Spica has his ultimate if he needs it.
Zeyzal's here, but Spica with a good smite, making sure they don't give that objective away. That means TSM are evening up this Drake count, not allowing EG to continue stacking those. It will be a Mountain Soul again this game. TSM making sure they don't give EG any opportunities back in after getting these early picks.
I mean, TSM is honestly looking really good. They have a solid draft. They're playing this out very well. But EG obviously is going to have a really strong team fight with his double marksman plus Karma. That's more what they're building for. Yes, Jiizuke is getting picked on. He's died twice now, but does have the early Athenes, and will still be very useful as kind of this extra powerful support.
Right. If you were going to fall behind, on a mid laner, you would want it to be something that's more of a supportive role as opposed to if Jiizuke was LeBlanc and he's 0-2 and he's not really having much presence in the game, it's much worse than if he is the Karma, right? Because he can still use the shields, because he can still help everybody else out. Bard ulti finds its way onto DoubleLift, but using the heal to sidestep away from the follow-up stun means he's going to be just fine. Zeyzal disengaging there with a magical journey. No mana left on Bang or Zeyzal, really. Maybe enough for one more spell from either one of them. Kumo could be in danger up here. Spica hovering around just in case Svenskeren tries to make some sort of a move. Kumo jumping forward. There's your taunt coming out from Broken Blade. Spica shows up.
Bear.
Oh, man, he jumps away. He uses the ulti to get the bonus health and stay alive with 100 HP.
Yeah, I think Spica actually could have flashed for the final auto. You know, maybe didn't want to try to overcommit and risk it getting turned around, but I think he could have actually gone for that there. Either way, they still do push Volibear out of lane. He doesn't have TP, so this is going to be nice for Shen. Will allow Spica time to actually start up this Rift Herald, but Zeyzal has Braum first. You can see that Biofrost is moving, so TSM is looking to grab another Rift Herald here and continue to pick up these neutral objectives. This would be, you know, a pretty quick Rift Herald. To be able to grab it before those plates. Did they actually ever go back and finish that first one, or is this still the first one?
This is still the first.
Still the first one. Okay. So either way, they could try to drop it, you know, in the next 50 seconds and try to get some turret plate gold if they want.
See if they have the chance to do so. It is on Spica's Kindred. You can see him moving into the mid lane. Now, a lot of on my way pings showing up, so that could be the plan here for TSM. Try to rush this down, get that turret plate money. 35 seconds left to potentially do that. Looks like, nope, Spica's going home. They're opting to save the Rift Herald and use it in a situation where they feel like they can get maximum value towards actually destroying a turret instead of going for the immediate payday of turret plate money.
I'm gonna say I don't love that. I just think that it's like, it's not guaranteed that you get a full turret anyway. You know, why not just knock that turret incredibly low? It was already had a plate knocked off of it. You know, you could probably just with your own damage get one plate off, drop that, and then at worst, that turret is incredibly low and you got, you know, all of that turret plate gold guaranteed. You know, a couple plates can be basically a kill. So, don't love the decision, but we'll see if they can get something more with it later on.
Kumos with that Gunblade completed. Now, I'm going to be watching this, Azael, because I want to see how successful this Volibear build is. Because it is one of those things that, when even just saying the words Gunblade Volibear, it makes me feel like solo queue. Because it feels like that kind of a build. Bottom side, by the way, Spica's Gambit pays off, and Shelly is able to secure a full turret. For the side of TSM, they grab that first turret of the game there on the tier 1, trying to push this up and get a second charge off on the tier 2. Shelly goes forward. There we go. They aren't going to stick around and try to make any more of a push out of it, but they will be happy with what they got.
Yep, EG sent 4 members top, so they were able to just drop that Rift Herald bot lane, grab an easy turret there, and you'll note that they actually all backed off to give that gold over to DoubleLift. So as you said, did pay off for them. Worked out quite well. And yeah, I mean, the Gunblade Volibear, like, I don't want to say it's cheese, but it like always does feel like a little bit cheesy when I've gone up against it. It is a lot of upfront burst. You know, you activate the Gunblade. You know, you actually have some pretty strong AP ratios on some of the abilities from the Volibear. So you know, it can be really surprising upfront damage, but you know, it's a lot of healing. Beyond that, you're so squishy in team fights. You know, this is no HP being built up. There's no kind of damage reduction being built up. I'm going to be interested to see where he goes for a second item. And it probably, I'm assuming, is still going to be more like Triforce, that type of thing with Longsword.
Yeah, Longsword already put there means at most you're getting a bruiser item. Jiizuke bound up. Bjergsen able to supply the initiation and the follow-up from the rest of the team. It's DoubleLift with the Hail Mary shot from the sniper rifle, making sure he puts 300 gold in his pocket.
Really well done. TSM now 2K up. They are sieging mid lane here. Bjergsen pressuring. And they may be able to get a lot of damage down on this turret. You know, about a third of the HP knocked off there. Volibear is pushing topside. I guess the other thing, and this is kind of the last I'll mention on the Volibear build because I don't want to focus on it too much, even though it is drawing my eye a lot, is that Broken Blade is stacking armor, right? You did go Sunfire and Tabbies, so that is another kind of added wrinkle. You know, having a little bit more AP damage is going to help to circumvent some of the defensive stats that Broken is actually building up.
Very true. TSM now with the chance to grab their second Drake of the game. Spica picks that one up, no contest. Nobody wanting to walk down there and deal with that. Nobody getting out of the top side either, as Kumo gets himself killed off by the combined power of the TSM solo lanes. Zeyzal now trying to run away, trying to protect Svenskeren, but it will not do a damn thing. DoubleLift grabbing himself his second kill of the game, and Isaac, everything, and I mean everything, is coming up TSM in these first 17 minutes.
Yeah, they are really just dominating at this point. And now, again, just using that Stand United offensively to pick on Jiizuke. He's gone.
It doesn't stop. Jiizuke's 0-4-0. TSM has targeted him maliciously this game. They have not let up. And the man just has not found a way out. He has not found a viable answer. They are getting so much free money off of these kills over and over. Yes, he's got his Ardent Sensor now, but he's given a lot of money to the TSM pockets.
I mean, this is the TSM that fans were expecting to see, that people wanted to see. You know, it's the gang is getting back together. DoubleLift's back on TSM. Biofrost back. They're gonna win.
The reunion
and
tour.
Then and then they kind of came out of the gates pretty flat. But they are honestly just running over EG at this point. And yes, EG still does have some strength. You know, some win conditions later on. But it's like the Volibear build, you know, is not going to provide much of a frontliner. So you essentially don't have a frontliner anymore, and you're falling very, very far behind. You know, there are ways that they can definitely win, but TSM has really good scaling. They have double marksmen that I think both scale better than their counterparts, are ahead of their counterparts, and, you know, really, really kind of strong side lane pressure with this Shen, who is constantly stand uniting over to Bjergsen and helping to find plays and pickoffs. So I do think that EG is in a really, really tough spot.
Yeah, Broken Blade using that stand united so well this game, just getting involved and helping set the team up for success. Zeyzal bang Jiizuke all mid here, trying to get this tier 1 turret away from TSM, get some gold, even this up a little bit with these structures, but TSM will defend it long enough to prevent that from happening. Kumo here on the front line, making sure that it does. Evil Genius is grabbing the tier 1, but the trade is losing their tier 2 in the bottom lane. Bjergsen putting in the auto attacks onto that one to seal the deal.
Also worth noting, Bjergsen did pick up the Magi's, only 7 pages in the book
BM
so
book!
far, so
Yes!
not too powerful just yet, but generally people talk about that 10 mark as when it's really, really starting to get strong. But obviously you have to be confident that you're not going to be giving over many deaths for that to be worthwhile, and we'll see how well Bjergsen can pull that off. LeBlanc is a champion that you really kind of have to put yourself at risk to really be getting the most out of it. TSM will grab their second Rift Herald here, just shortly before it would despawn in 1950 or so, and they're going to move it topside to grab another outer tower.
Man, watching Aphelios stand there and auto-attack something point-blank range with all those chakrams and have all the numbers pop up is like when you're a little kid, you just mash buttons on a calculator to see how big you can make the number. It looks ridiculous just watching them have all those numbers just puke all over the screen, but they do manage to secure that second Shelly right before it would have despawned. They're going to have 3.5 minutes to use that one wherever they want to use it. Spica, once again, the man who's got that one secured, also has Black Cleaver fully completed here on the Kindred. A tankier Kindred build. Sometimes you see Kindreds go full glass cannon, full squishy. This time around, building more of that bruiser type item to make sure that he can jump in and survive a little bit longer before having to drop the Lamb's Respite. But EG are in control over this bottom half of the map right now, and the 4th Drake of the game will be spawning in just over a minute.
Yeah, TSM would like to put themselves at soul point here. And generally the way I look at Kindred builds is if you're playing against a lot of tanks, I think the on-hit build is superior, going Bladed Rune King and, you know, on-hit jungle item and these types of things can really pay a lot of value. But when you are against squishier members and, you know, burstier members, I do think that the Warrior Black Cleaver build is more effective. And also that 30% CDR is so valuable because your ultimate cooldown is so long. You know, you are pretty spell reliant, you know, with the Q, the W, the E, you're getting a lot of value out of that CDR and going to make sure that you always have your ult available for team fights.
Shelly summoned up in mid lane.
Ooh,
I like that. Good stuff from Zeyzal, immuning the turret with the stasis, preventing the Shelly charge from getting the kill, allowing the team the time to keep it alive, defend it a little bit longer, but it's still going to be taken down anyway, ladies and gentlemen. How many years is it? It's, you all know the answer. 200 years in the mid lane as DoubleLift sends him some damage from downtown. 3-0 here on the Aphelios as Broken Blade will scare Kumo away. Bjergsen shows up, forces out the defensive Volibear ulti. That is a big ult to not have available. TSM looking to take down the Baron. Good block onto the Ezreal ulti coming out from Biofrost, who's now nearly killed. Lamb's Respite thrown down. It'll keep Biofrost alive. He wants to stick around and grab the heal, and now TSM are looking for the chance to maybe engage onto Evil Geniuses. No way to stick around and do the Baron. EG will stop that here.
I honestly just wish TSM would have gone for the less risky option and actually just gone towards the dragon there. You know, they could have gotten, I think, that mountain dragon pretty much for sure. Instead, they do try to take a big risk, go for that Baron. They are going to get poked off of it pretty easily and likely going to lose the dragon as a result. You can see EG is actually sending some members up, checking on the Baron, trying to clear out some vision. Kumo should be able to finish this off with the help of Zeyzal and Svenskeren, and EG will tie up the dragon count 2-2.
Easy stuff there for EG. Happy to have something go their way here in this game. Down 4,500 gold. They needed to have that to not allow TSM to have another potential win condition coming up here soon. Bjergsen with 9 pages in the Medjai's Soul Stealer here at the current moment in time. And if you're looking over at Kumo's inventory, building the Black Cleaver instead of the Trinity Force, he's still going to get the extra power out of the Phage, movement speed bonus. He's still going to have some extra CDR coming through there to make sure that he's able to use those spells more quickly in the team fights. But that's still a bruiser item, Isaac. It's still not a tank item. It's still not providing resistances, and Kumo could still be very easily blown up in the front of these fights.
Yeah, I mean, probably part of the thought is, okay, you have Black Cleaver on the Graves and the volley, so you should always have kind of that armor straight up for your double marksman. That's kind of cool, but yeah, I mean, Black Cleaver as your only pseudo tanky item or whatever you want to call it when you are behind is not going to keep you very safe whatsoever. We will probably be seeing a lot of Bear running away this game and not very much of the Bear dominating.
A lot of the Bear running away.
Yeah, I mean, we got to see it in the top lane. You know, you use that Gunblade. It's the best defensive item there is. Just zap him and run away.
It's like you turn around and shoot the guy in the foot so he can't chase after you. Well, I've only got one bullet. I better use it wisely.
And I mean, it's thematic, right? It's the lightning bear. You got the gunblade. It does a little.
Is that the argument we're going for now?
Yeah,
he built it because it helps him role play and really feel like he's a lightning bear, like he's channeling the storm.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he has a macro that like every time he uses his gunblade, it like goes in the all chat and just says zap in all caps, right? Or like maybe zap growl or something. Really get into it.
Or if do we have a Volibear emoji like in game?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, well, if we have a Volibear emoji in game, just make it play that every time you use the gunblade. So then you're letting them know that you're the bear. You're ready to go.
The King of Thunder.
And EG, they're ready to go. They're trying to find a way back into this game right now. They're trying to find a way back into this game. They're 5,000 gold down, man. They're down 2 turrets. They've got no kills. Nobody on TSM has looked at a black and white screen this entire game, Isaac.
Yeah,
Nobody.
0 kills, but 1 bear, so that is in their favor. Up 1-0 in the bear count, down everywhere else pretty much. They're down in towers, down in gold, down in kills. They are looking like they're going to have a tough time here. With the double TP, while Ignite is really, really nice early, and obviously still nice late for LeBlanc to have that additional kill threat, playing double TP on your solo laners, it allows them to play 1-3-1 very, very easily. You have the Braum plus double marksman kind of just parked in mid lane, send Shen and LeBlanc out to the side lanes. If LeBlanc ever finds an opportunity, you throw that Shen ult over onto LeBlanc, you turn that 1v1 into a 2v1 against the Volibear. And that's why Kumo is going to have to pretty much show so much respect to Bjergsen. You've got to stay very far away because you could easily just get ganged up on and taken down.
Bjergsen's almost got his death cap completed too. This LeBlanc pretty much capable of 100-0ing anybody on the side of Evil Geniuses. Graves is pretty good at stacking up armor with his passive, but magic resistance was taken out of that a while back, so Svenskeren must be very respectful as well if he puts himself in a spot where he's caught out. Zeyzal nearly with the Dead Man's Plate completed, and honestly, the Bard may be the tankiest member on Evil Geniuses at this point in time, which is a pretty concerning piece of information when you look at what they're going to have to be contending with here, with DoubleLift on this Aphelios scaling up, with Bjergsen continuing to scale up on the LeBlanc. TSM hiding out in the Pixel Brush here. True Shot Barrage is going to let Evil Geniuses know that TSM is not on the Baron just yet.
Yeah, not just yet.
How long are they willing to wait in this brush, see if somebody comes and face checks it. Jiizuke throwing the Q into the brush, puts another ward over the wall. We'll see. Svenskeren, you gonna go check it? Nope, okay. Dashing out of the way of the Winter's Bite. TSM can't close the distance.
Yeah, and I think now they'll start it. They want to at least get Volibear's TP. You know, this may not be a full commit, but wow, I actually think that's a little bit ill-advised, you know, to just give up the bottom tower for free. I feel like you should at least start it. You don't have to commit, but you just push them back away from the Baron. You clear out the ward. You still have your double pink setup. I always like starting the Baron in that situation, and then if Volibear TPs, you can back it up. But then you have even more of that global advantage because you have double TP on the soul laners. You still have the Stand United. So if Volibear has to commit the teleport, you know, that is such a problem for EG because then they don't really have anyone down there to match. You can also see Broken Blade went that build I was talking about earlier with the Titanic plus the Sunfire. You know, this is just such a comfortable split push build. So even if you lose this theoretical 1v1 where, you know, Conqueror is stacked and Volibear is healing so much with the Gunblade, it doesn't ever have to happen, right? You walk up, you use the Titanic Hydra active, you instantly kill the wave, and you walk away. Volibear is kind of left just watching you go.
And with TSM in the area, with TSM having priority over the bottom side river, EG wisely choosing not to fight over that Drake. They're still not at the point where it would give away the soul, so they think that the 5,000 gold deficit is too much to fight in open ground right now. I think I agree with that statement. And now, though, we are at the point where every dragon after this has to be fought by Evil Geniuses unless they are okay with giving that Mountain Soul away to TSM and having to deal with this team that has been doing so much work on them so far, then having permanent shields on top of their health bars.
Well, yeah, and I mean, just imagine the situation if TSM had, instead of trying to go for that earlier Baron start, just took in the guaranteed third dragon, right? That could have been a fight that EG was forced to take in this disadvantageous position. And we'll see if they'll get this pick. No, nothing much happening there. But, you know, they could have already forced that major fight that could get them the win. Instead, because they tried to actually take that Baron, they gave over another dragon to EG. You know, they're giving EG more time to sit back, more time to scale. EG had the option to avoid that dragon fight. TSM now is going to be starting up this Baron. They see Volibear down on the bottom side. They want to get his TP out. They can just basically two-man the Baron here with Aphelios and Broken Blade.
Yeah, DoubleLift has the Chakrams. This is the highest DPS gun that Aphelios can get here at close range. TP coming in now from Evil Geniuses. Kumo making sure he finds his way into the fight. Bjergsen going to be doing the same now, but he's taken very low, having to walk away. DoubleLift grabbing the damage, and it's enough to kill off Svenskeren, but Bjergsen will also fall. It's a 1-for-1 so far, and Kumo stays to stop on the front line, but here come the Evil Geniuses. Lamb's Respite will keep TSM alive, but they have enough time to take down the Volibear. Now the counterattack's coming in, and DoubleLift is looking to dance around. The Infernum is spreading all over the team fight. Ladies and gentlemen, the man has enough guns to get the work done, and TSM will win the fight.
They do lose Bjergsen, and there were so many low health bars, so it was a very, very close fight, but TSM do take it, and they are right back onto the Baron. Bang is in the area, and they're actually going to TP back in here with Jiizuke, so they want to try to see, can they stop this from going down? There's no smite on Spica.
Lamb's Respite had such a major impact in that fight. It looked like it might have finally been the chance that EG needed to come back and win something. But then the turnaround with that ever so powerful Kindred ulti, and now Jiizuke and Bang have to try to hold on. Bjergsen jumps in, but he's also taken down pretty close to death himself. Bang! Killed off. Jiizuke running for his life, and all TSM has to contemplate is who's going to be getting the money on this one. Bjergsen making sure he steps out of the way of the inner flame. Double kill over to him, and with 2 players on Evil Geniuses down, and everybody on TSM wearing purple, except for Bjergsen, he was a noble sacrifice. This team is feeling ready to rock.
Yeah, and Bjergsen actually died, lost the pages in the book, respawned, TP'd in, got him right back. He's good to go, baby. He's got the 10 pages back. So Bjergsen is in a great position. TSM, I think, are poised to win with this Baron push. I do think that EG have fallen too far behind now. Really, they are going to get outscaled. They are way down in gold. The Baron buff is in TSM's hands. They should be able to extend this gold lead so much, if not end the game with this push.
DoubleLift doing so much damage on this Aphelios this game. 6-0-1. Has Mortal Reminder to stop healing coming out from the side of Evil Geniuses here in the team fights. Working towards the Death Dance. Next, Spica's on the front line. They try to initiate onto him, but Biofrost does a good job of protecting and disengaging. Now TSM are trying to fire some shots into the back line themselves, and Jiizuke will be the first one to fall. Kumo now being chased down, and the taunt will seal his fate. Zeyzal the next target, but Broken Blade without any CC will not be able to secure that one. TSM continue to push up 5 men strong. DoubleLift is out of mana, but you don't need mana when you got the guns locked and loaded. Sniper rifle and chakrams ready here. That remember, the chakrams are what causes so much of the damage. As Svenskeren gets popped, Broken Blade responsible for that one. TSM, one Nexus turret down. They're moving on to the second. The Evil Genius's Nexus is exposed, and TSM will answer the challenge of one of the best teams in the league, and they will take their win 31 minutes in.
Power rankings be damned. You know, I had EG as second best team coming into this game. This split TSM made that one look very, very easy. I think that is TSM's best showing by far. You know, even in the wins that they had, I don't think they looked as dominant and not against as strong of an opponent. So they can be really, really happy about this game. This is more what I think they wanted to see, right? We see Spica being aggressive, being proactive, Bjergsen running around the map looking really confident on this carry style pick, working well with Broken Blade, playing the Shen. Really everything felt like it was working here for TSM. You know, DoubleLift there as kind of the late game insurance on this scaling pick. And for EG, it just felt like, you know, so many errors getting picked off left and right. You know, Jiizuke was constantly getting preyed on. It didn't feel like they paid respect to that Shen. We saw Kumo, you know, trying something a little bit different here with this Gunblade build, which I think can work in isolation against the Shen, but Shen can just ignore you and clear the waves, and then you're pretty worthless in the team fights, which is really what we saw.
The biggest thing for me is that there was no corpses dragged across the finish line. Exactly.